Looking for fresh ideas by looking back in time. For many, bygone eras are a favorite source of inspiration. However, in Hong Kong, the fascination for the past has usually been overshadowed by a drive towards modernity. But it seems the territory is making a U-turn, with an increasing number of people embracing fond memories of old China. Inside Stories' Jennifer Lee looks into the business of going nostalgic to find out how and why some are marketing old memories of the mainland.
A heady blend of East and West, the best of what was old China, the entrepreneurial spirit of China, and the very cosmopolitan and international spirit of the China traders.
It was a very dramatic period in Chinese history, and that's why it evokes still very strong feelings.
Sophisticated, glamorous, bohemian, diverse. No other city showcased China's heyday like Shanghai. From the moment it opened its doors to foreign trade in 1843 to the communist takeover more than a century later, Asia's largest city was also its most fascinating. Today, the city boasts few reminders of its former splendor, but Shanghai's glory days are far from forgotten.
China is a kind of dream. It's still like the smell of Marco Polo and of the last emperor.
And that scent is getting stronger in Hong Kong. Renowned local designer Alan Chan was among the first to pick up on it. 5 years ago, he began transforming the ordinary simply by putting images of old China on everyday items. But the allure of that era didn't quite catch on until now.
It's quite trendy now at the moment. I quite like it.
Chinese now is people admiring Chinese things, right?
David Tang would agree. The flamboyant businessman had enough faith to turn Eastern intrigue into a multi-million-dollar venture.
I think that with 1997, there is a greater consciousness of being Chinese.
So Tang set out to dress the introspective at his Shanghai Tang department store.
So of course the tailor, that is tailoring.
Using quality fabrics, fine tailoring, and his name, Tang is turning a long-term disdain for mainland goods into admiration, giving the Made in China label fresh meaning. Now, even the famed and the fashionable are asking for it.
Well, I think the whole idea of fashion and style have become much more international. So an Asian look, I think, now is considered very hip in the United States, just as obviously Western, Gap-type clothing are popular here.
A reality the eccentric entrepreneur hopes to reverse.
Clothes, which are now inexorably Western, for us Chinese, should look a bit odd, as if an Englishman or an American would start wearing a jalaba and looking like an Arab. I mean, there is no difference between that and us Chinese wearing Western clothes.
Of course, that doesn't stop Tang from encouraging Westerners to button up their Mandarin collars.
I have a complete suit that I took to France last year for a wedding, and people were a bit shocked, but they were very intrigued.
Other companies have also started banking on the intrigue of the Orient, even those which are irrepressibly British. Upmarket English retailer Burberry's filmed its latest ad campaign in Shanghai, combining romantic images of the city's past and present to illustrate the timelessness and quality of its clothing.
Shanghai is convenient for the Westerner because that is the one word that people seem to know. That is the one city that the colonialists had experiences of. And so it is a much more sellable concept.
Goodbye.
But marketing China's past is not just an elite concept. Owners of this year-old congee restaurant in Kowloon say they chose a classical Chinese interior because local customers are looking to dine in more traditional surroundings, although there may be some confusion over what period they're aiming for. Retro may be all the rage, but it probably has little to do with true nostalgia, considering those who actually lived through China's heyday are now pushing 90. So for the rest of us, all this talk of the good old days may just be another excuse to get a little decadent.
Shanghai in the 20s, I think of espionage and secret liaison.
Something very hedonistic.
Very romantic, very exotic.
They said if you had $1,000, you should be able to make $1 million.
Investors at the Regent Hotel are the latest to cash in on the sentimentality by opening a nightclub in the style of 1930s Shanghai. In true spirit, Club Shanghai was launched with all the trappings of the metropolis's golden era, blending the glamour of East and West.
Regardez un peu la télévision. This is a movie star from Paris, very important. Movie star from Paris. Oh la la.
It's the time of scandal and decadence, and we're trying to recreate those good old days. The images of 1920, 1930 come back. You know, you have those palm trees, those big fan palms, ladies beautifully dressed, and feathers and fluff and fun and dancing all night and living a good life.
Have you been to Shanghai?
No, I haven't.
The charm of that era is probably just as imagined for everyone else. But at a time when few things are certain, nostalgia for old China captivates those seeking the comfort of a simpler past.